Hey guys, what's going on? It's Lachlan, and we're bringing you a video here of the Apprentice. I'm just taking a look at his stats, and people have been asking me how I build the Apprentice, and for a while I really didn't have an Apprentice, and so I decided to roll one recently. I've already actually recorded a video with him, and I've been having a good time. He's a fun class. You know, it's really, when it comes to projectile towers, currently, because there's only 4 classes in the game, it's really between the Squire and the Apprentice. You know, that's it. Don't even think about your Huntress. You know, those poison dart towers aren't going to do much. But the Apprentice is cool because his flame burst towers do AoE damage, whereas the Squire's cannonball towers are going to be focusing on, you know, very heavy damage to single targets. The ballistas will, you know, they'll hit multiple targets, but it's not always reliable. You know, it's very nice if the mobs are coming in a straight line. But when it comes to AoE towers, I think the flame burst tower is definitely the highest output, most efficient. And so he's a cool class. I like him a lot. And there's some cool tricks that we'll talk about later, especially with the frostbite tower. But we're going to look at his stats here. We're going to look at his spec and his gear, how I build him, and then I'm going to go down to the target dummy and just kind of show you guys what kind of damage he's putting out with these stats, which are really not that impressive. If you looked at some people who play a lot more than I do, you'll see that their stats are a lot higher than mine, but even still, mine are, you know, very easily clearing anything on 25++ hard mode, so, you know, it's just not that big a deal at this point. So here we go. The Apprentice, he's almost neck and neck when it comes to speed right here and defense power. 889, 883. I've noticed that I keep my Apprentice kind of neck and neck between these two stats, whereas my Squire, I put a lot more focus on the speed. I just noticed that with my Apprentice, the diminishing returns with speed was kicking in a little bit faster, and so I'm just keeping these two guys neck and neck. I still really like speed though, and so that's it. That's all there is to it. He's very similar to a Squire. The only difference is when you look at my gear, he's using a weapon that has defense power. On my Squire, the only difference would be he would have a weapon that has speed. You know, that's pretty much the only difference between the two. So, since we're already here, let's just look at his gear. You know, here's the weapon. It's actually not that great. It has power and it's myth, so, you know, not bad. But if you look at the passive bonuses, they kind of suck. They're oriented around player DPS, not tower DPS. So I would quickly swap this weapon out for a blue, and forgive me for saying this, or even a green. Like, if I found a green item with speed or power that had a really good passive bonus, like this one, 7.5% increase in flame burst tower, that would actually be a big upgrade over my purple, because that passive is so big. So, you know, once you guys already have items like this that have speed and power, start looking for items that have the speed and power, but also the good passive bonuses. The only thing I have on my Apprentice at this point is this guy right here, that, you know, increase in flame burst tower damage. The other one that you'll look for on the Apprentice is increase in tower range. Increasing the range is huge. You know, think about how many times you've had that javelin thrower park right outside your range, and he's just, you know, killing your tower. So if you can get a passive bonus that increases your range by, I think it's like 10%, that's huge. Or if you can find one like this guy right here, increasing your total flame burst tower damage by 7.5%, like, also that's huge. So be mindful of those passive bonuses. But everything else here, it's nothing special. You've seen it before. Just stack as much power and speed as you can. Take all of your bonus upgrade points and put them into speed. That's all there is to it. So now we're going to look at his specs. You'll notice his points are split pretty evenly between double fire fireball and freeze. The double fire fireball will grant me, at 22 points, it gives me a 40.5% chance for flame burst tower to shoot a second fireball that does 70% damage. That probably increases my total DPS with the fireball tower by like 20%, you know, something in that area. So it's really good. This guy right here, Freeze, is going to give me a 60-ish% chance for the Frostbite Tower to freeze its target at the end of its channel for 3 seconds. A 3-second stun is huge, especially with an Ogre. Also, if you haven't already noticed, there's an ability in the game, or it's not an ability, but there's like, it's a proc, I guess you can call it, called Shatter. So if you freeze an enemy, and you attack them, you can shatter them, and no matter who it is, it instantly kills the enemy. If you've ever played with someone who's shattered an Ogre before, it's super fun to actually see it happen. It's it doesn't always happen, so it's kind of hit or miss, but when it happens, it's pretty cool to just one-shot an Ogre. And I've noticed that a lot of people will do that with their apprentices. One of their strategies is to build like 3 or sometimes 4 Frostbite towers in the Ogre lane, so that they can freeze the Ogre, and then they just one-shot the Ogre. They shatter it once it freezes. If you have 4 Frostbite towers, one of them is bound to freeze that stupid Ogre, and then you can just kill it immediately. And that's a terrific strategy. I like it a lot. But again, it's hit or miss, because it doesn't always work, but if you have enough Frostbite towers, it should work most of the time. So it's a pretty fun one. All these other guys, I just ignore them completely. When I was leveling, and I know some of you guys are still, around level 15 or so, this one was actually pretty good, because it gives you an X% chance for the Earthshatter Tower to knock enemies into the air. That's cool, because a knock-up it's kind of like a stun. It stops them where they are for about a second and a half. It's really nifty. Plus, if you're using something like I don't know, like a Monk's anti-air tower or something, I don't know why you would. It needs to be reworked, but just knocking them up is a great little way to slow mobs down while they're marching toward your tower. I took my points out of this one because once I hit level 25, I stopped using my Earthshatter Tower altogether. But that's it, guys. I'm just going to go down here to the floor and show you what kind of damage I'm doing with my towers with my current stats. So we'll drop a Flame Burst. We'll upgrade the Star. And he's currently being upgraded, or not upgraded, he's currently being boosted by my Boost Aura. And you can see, if you can read that, it says damage bonus 1.96. So that's a 96% boost to the tower. With that, he's doing about 4,363. So that's where I'm at with my stats. If you had better stats than I do, maybe a legendary, something like that, legendary medallion, you probably would be doing in the neighborhood of 4,600 DPS. If you're really good, maybe up to 5,000 damage per second. I don't see many Flame Burst towers doing more than 5,000 damage per second. You need to have really, really good stats to do that. But that's it, guys. That's the Apprentice in a nutshell. If you have any questions, just post your comments below. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. Other people watching the video, maybe they can answer the questions as well as I can, or better. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want me to post another video of something specific, definitely let me know. I know a lot of people have asked me to post videos of lower end content, and I just haven't really got around to that yet. I think eventually I might end up doing it. But there's really not a lot to do at low-end content at level 15 or so. It's just build your towers and boost them and kill mobs. But anyway, have a good time, guys. Thanks for watching. It's Lachlan. Peace out.